name is Jessie Dettwiler, and I'm an artist that lives here at Milespost 5. And I found Milespost 5 2 years ago. I've lived here for 2 years now, and I found it thanks to a roommate that I was living with at the time who I was kind of looking for a new place to live, and she suggested, why don't you live at this community of artists that will be opening up shortly? And I was kind of like that, yep, no, that's ridiculous, no, I don't want to do that. And then within a couple of months, as I was thinking a little bit more about what I wanted to do and where I wanted to live, I realized I do want to live in a community, and I started checking out Milespost 5, and we actually went trick-or-treating here because we're nerds. This was that October, like when everyone had just moved in, and we went trick-or-treating and met a bunch of people that I now know, and strangers that were friendly and hilarious and dressed in great costumes, and I was sold. I was like, oh, okay, I'll live here actually. That sounds wonderful. And since then, since moving in, I really have met a lot of people that are fantastic. I've had a lot of fun collaborating with a couple of people, getting to work on like videos with Penny Michelle, for example, and Liam and Devin. I was 7 years old when I started playing the cello. Yeah. I was really lucky. My mom is a bass player, a string bass player, and she did that professionally, but her occupation is occupational therapy. So she kind of did both at the same time, and so as a little kid I just always was picking around at the piano, and I got to take piano lessons when I was 5, which was so great. I loved it. And then chose to play the cello when I was 7, and did that for a couple of years. My teacher was incredible. He was wonderful, an incredible cellist, although a little rough for a little kid to work with someone so disciplined and so like driven. So I kind of got away from the cello after a couple of years, but then my aunt moved to town, who is also a cellist, and I learned from her from then on. And she taught me how to love the cello again, which was really nice.
And when you're so young, that seems like such a huge instrument to take on. It's quite a big instrument.
I've always been so much bigger than everyone else, like in my life. I think I was 5'10" when I was like 13, so which is how tall I am now. But so it never really seemed too big for me. Just kind of get my learning how to make it comfortable, and that is. I play in 3 bands, but also just sort of side projects here and there with other people. There's so many incredible musicians in this town. I actually moved to Portland when I was 20 with my first band that I had ever been in. I was raised playing classical music, so it was all orchestra and orchestral and playing solo stuff and getting to collaborate with a lot of other people playing instruments. And that was wonderful and taught me a lot. But when I finally got to college in Boulder, Colorado, I was actually coming off of a recess of playing the cello. My aunt had passed away, who had been teaching me, and we were very close, and I just couldn't look at it. I couldn't think about touching the cello. But in college, people were like, whoa, what's going on? You play the cello? I'm in a band. You want to try? And I'm just like, I guess so. And it turned out to be wonderful. I met Sterling Miles there in college, who is my long-time music collaborator. He's probably one of the biggest musical influences and partners in my life. And we're in a band called Alameda together. So, but at the time we moved out to Portland with our band Strangers Die Every Day. It's a post-rock band, instrumental, to be clear. And that went on for a little while, and then after that one, we all parted ways, and then we started playing in another band, and then Alameda came about, and Sterling was like, maybe I should play the guitar and sing. He was a bassist at the time, and he didn't sing at all. Like, he didn't sing, he had never sung. And I was like, well, let's see what happens. And it's ended up being great, and I love it. I get to tour a lot, which is really fun. In a really different way than you would think, though. It seems like there would be a lot of crazy stuff going on, but it's more like it's one of the most simple things in the world. Your life is completely simplified. All that you have to do is show up in the right city at the right time and play the show. And you have to do it well, but that's all you have to do. Like, the rest of your life is just figuring out, what time do I have to get up to get to that city? What am I going to eat so I don't feel like crap? You know, and then like admiring the incredible world and the many, many, many generous people in it. That's been one of the best parts, I would have to say. How many people in every single city that we've been to that have been welcoming and giving and generous. So that's really fun. I guess instead of like a genre, I would more say that my favorite kind of music to play is with people that are really dedicated to their craft and really interested in being open but constructive. Because it's not very fun to like, let's play a song. Okay, we played it. Now let's play it like one more time because it's fun. Moving on. Like, it's really fun to be with people that are like, here's this song, let's make it incredible. And then you just, you know, you pick apart each section and fine-tune it and figure out every single note and exactly where it should be to make that song incredible. So people that are willing to do that are rare gems, and they're wonderful to work with. So that's my favorite way to work. I've always drawn and sketched and done stuff like that. My first obsession was with horses when I was about 7. And then I just got to draw a lot when I was a kid in lots of different ways. As far as the pen and ink, though, that is relatively recent. I don't even remember why, but about 4 years ago, my dad got me a calligraphy kit for Christmas like 4 or 5 years ago, and it had a book of instruction in like pen and nibs and ink and on how to do actual like beautiful calligraphy lettering, and I got really into that, and just like the feel of the ink and the pen are really fun. They're very definitive. I love very clear lines, and from there one day I was looking at a Morton salt container, and I was like, I love her. And I love the Morton salt girl, so I drew a picture with her in it. And that was the beginning, and I just discovered how pleasing that was, and started to, you know, figure out what paper was the best to draw with ink on, and how to put it on, the best kinds of ink, and this and that, waterproof versus non-waterproof, and I was just taken off since then, and it's really, I feel like every time I finish one of those pieces, it's just like a statement in time for me, because they take me forever. June, July, and August, I actually get to go on 2 tours to the same place. First, with Alameda, we're going to Alaska, and we're going to be doing 20 days in Alaska, and we're starting in Anchorage and ending in Anchorage, and we're going to be in Seward and Homer and Denali and Fairbanks, and just 20 days of going around and enjoying Alaska. I'm looking forward to seeing the flocks of bald eagles. My mom, I'm gonna have to take a picture of my mom, she loves bald eagles. And then 9 days occur, and I haven't decided if I'm coming back to Portland for those 9 days or just staying in Anchorage. And then the As a Rose band, another band that I'm in that I love, is coming out and doing almost exactly the same tour. It's actually booked by the same company, Monolith booking company. So it's the summer of Alaska for me. So, and actually I have a new project.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Scoot that.
Okay.
Slide it that way.
How's that? The third band is like it's a brand new project in that I'm working with a violinist called Jay Lieber. Called Jay Lieber.
Better, yeah.
started playing a little bit of music together just to sort of feel it out, because he's completely self-taught. So we're coming from completely different worlds. I came from like a rigidly structured, like this is exactly how you play the cello kind of world. And then he's coming from like, I have a violin, it's in my hands, I think this feels pretty good, I'm gonna try this. And he just shreds, like he can play really like fast, hard stuff, which is really fun because that's different from what I'm doing now. Most of my stuff now is kind of folky, which I like and is really fun. But with Jay, we're kind of getting into a little bit more, a little bit of like klezmer influence, but at the same time we both like love metal. So like power chords and fun things like that. Like at the beginning of that.
Yeah, it's the slow part. Good. Yeah, but we got it. Like we do the round first, and then the second time you bring in that extra fancy stuff.
So that doesn't have a name yet, but it will soon. And that's really fun. We're still working towards that. We've got about 4 or 5 songs for cloning. Just like give one to each of them. Well, that'd be perfect because I'm actually really lazy. Like when it comes down to it, I'm like, okay. Then I get that I'm like, this is awesome. Then I get home and I'm like, no.
Now you're leaving a place where you've been meaning. It's a place I don't believe in. You said back then, and it's my time to go. Now don't you follow me till your time, my time. It's a fear that I'm exhausted, and a fear that I'm lost in. place where we were young. There's no center of the storm. And on your cancer bed, his arms they held like lead in the way when we were wed. And now we'll walk in a place I've never felt and pretend